Before this quiet night slips away, there is something that has been moving gently toward you for longer than you realize. It did not arrive with noise. It did not demand your attention. It simply waited for the moment your heart became still enough to notice it. Don't skip, because what unfolds from here may feel strangely familiar, as though a conversation your soul has been trying to remember is finally finding its way back to you. Somewhere beyond the distractions of ordinary days, a feeling has remained unchanged. It has crossed moments of silence, seasons of uncertainty, and countless unanswered questions without asking for recognition. That feeling now carries only one simple message: please don't give up on us. Not because everything is already perfect, but because some connections grow stronger while they are quietly being tested by patience rather than speed. You may have wondered why certain memories return without invitation, why an unexpected sense of peace appears for only a few seconds before disappearing again, or why tonight feels different even if nothing around you has changed. Those moments are not asking you to chase anything. They are asking you to pause long enough to recognize what has been growing beneath the surface all along. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you, and it isn't hidden inside dramatic answers. It lives inside a realization that arrives softly. Imagine two people standing beneath the same evening sky without knowing the other has paused at the very same moment. They are separated by distance, by different routines, by lives that have not yet crossed in the way they hope. Yet both feel an unexplainable pull to stop, breathe, and wonder whether someone else is thinking of them. That quiet moment matters more than it seems. Sometimes the strongest messages are never spoken aloud. They are carried through hope, through kindness, through the decision not to let disappointment become the final chapter. Your soulmate's heart is not searching for perfection. It is searching for reassurance that what feels meaningful is still worth believing in. That is why the words echo so gently tonight: please don't give up on us. Those words are not filled with urgency because of fear. They are filled with sincerity because some bonds deserve patience before they reveal their full purpose. There is another layer to this story that has not yet been uncovered, and once it comes into view, everything you have questioned may begin fitting together in a way you never expected. The quietest moments often carry the deepest meaning, and this is one of them. Nothing dramatic has happened, yet something has undeniably shifted. It's almost impossible to notice unless you slow down long enough to feel it. A small change in perspective can open a door that has remained closed for far longer than anyone expected. Don't skip, because the next few moments reveal why tonight feels unlike so many nights before it. There are seasons when life appears completely still, but beneath that stillness countless unseen pieces are finding their proper place. Your soulmate has been experiencing that same invisible unfolding. They have reflected on conversations that never happened, imagined paths that almost crossed, and quietly realized that some feelings refuse to fade simply because time passes. Instead of becoming weaker, they have become clearer. Not louder, not overwhelming, just more honest. And with that honesty comes a simple thought they wish could reach you: I hope you haven't stopped believing in what we could become. That message isn't asking for certainty. It isn't demanding immediate answers. It simply hopes that the light of possibility has not gone out. There is something remarkable about hope when it survives silence. Anyone can believe when everything is obvious, but the heart grows strongest when it learns to remain open even without constant reassurance. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you, and it begins with understanding this truth. The connection being described here isn't measured by how quickly events unfold. It is measured by the quiet consistency of two hearts continuing to grow into the people they are meant to become. Sometimes what feels like waiting is actually preparation. Sometimes distance creates clarity that closeness never could. And sometimes the very questions that seemed frustrating become the reason future moments feel so meaningful. As this night continues, imagine your soulmate looking back over their journey with unexpected gratitude. They no longer focus only on what hasn't happened. Instead, they begin noticing everything that has quietly prepared them for what lies ahead. They realize that every lesson has softened their heart instead of hardening it. Every disappointment has taught them compassion instead of bitterness. Every delay has helped them recognize what truly matters. Somewhere within those reflections, your presence returns to their thoughts, not as a memory fading into the past, but as a possibility that continues to inspire them to become better than they were yesterday. Yet there is one realization they have not fully spoken, even to themselves. It is gentle, deeply personal, and it changes the meaning of everything that came before. When that realization finally reaches the surface, the words, "Please don't give up on us," will carry a depth that neither of you could have understood until this very moment. And that revelation is closer than it has ever been. There comes a moment when the heart stops searching for signs everywhere and begins recognizing the quiet ones that have been present all along. That moment is closer than it appears. Don't skip, because what unfolds now isn't about coincidence. It's about understanding why certain feelings have remained with you despite everything else changing around you. There are connections that ask for constant attention, and then there are the rare ones that continue growing in silence, almost like a tree strengthening its roots beneath the ground before anyone sees new branches reaching toward the light. This is the season your soulmate has quietly entered. Without realizing it at first, they have begun letting go of old expectations and replacing them with something far more meaningful, a calm confidence that what is meant to unfold never needs to be forced. Tonight, if they could place just one thought into your heart, it would sound remarkably simple. I don't need everything to happen today. I only hope we don't stop believing before the story has the chance to reveal its next page. Those words carry no pressure. They carry trust. Trust that every meaningful connection has moments when nothing seems to move, only to discover later that everything was moving beneath the surface. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you, and it begins with recognizing that not every answer arrives through action. Some arrive through understanding. Think about how many times life has surprised you by working differently than you expected. The opportunity that appeared after you had almost stopped looking. The conversation that happened at exactly the right time. The unexpected peace that replaced worry without any obvious reason. Those moments remind us that life's most meaningful changes often arrive quietly. Your soulmate has started noticing this pattern too. Instead of asking, "Why hasn't everything happened yet?" they have begun asking, "What is this season preparing us to become?" That single question has changed the way they see the future. With every passing day, they have become more grateful for qualities that once seemed ordinary: patience, kindness, honesty, and the courage to keep their heart open even when certainty feels far away. These are the things that remain when excitement fades. These are the foundations that allow a lasting connection to grow. Somewhere deep inside, they have realized they are no longer hoping for a perfect story. They are hoping for a genuine one. A story where two people arrive with wiser hearts because they refuse to let temporary uncertainty define their future. And then something unexpected happens. A memory returns, not to create sadness, but to bring clarity. They remember a feeling they almost overlooked, a quiet moment that now carries entirely new meaning. Suddenly, they understand that some of the most important chapters were never about dramatic events at all. They were about becoming ready to recognize each other with fresh eyes and open hearts. That realization changes everything, yet it also opens one final question that neither of you has fully answered. When the right moment finally arrives, will you recognize it for what it truly is, or will its quietness make it easy to miss? The answer begins with what happens next. Not every turning point announces itself with grand moments. Sometimes it arrives wrapped in an ordinary evening, hidden inside a quiet feeling that refuses to leave. That is where this journey begins to deepen. Don't skip, because what comes next may help you understand why tonight feels as though it has been waiting for you all along. There is a gentle conversation unfolding beyond words, and although you cannot hear it with your ears, your heart has already started listening. Your soulmate has reached a place where they no longer measure this connection by the passing of days. Instead, they measure it by how consistently hope continues to return, even after moments of uncertainty. That return is not accidental. It is a reminder that some bonds are strengthened by patience rather than rushed by expectation. There are evenings when your soulmate quietly wonders what they would say if this message could truly reach you. After many imagined conversations, every complicated sentence fades away until only one remains. Please don't give up on us. I believe our best chapter has not been written yet. Notice how simple those words are. They do not promise perfection. They do not pretend every answer has already appeared. They simply hold space for tomorrow with quiet confidence. Sometimes that kind of hope is more powerful than certainty because it leaves room for life to surprise both of you in beautiful, unexpected ways. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you, and it isn't hidden in dramatic moments. It is hidden in the way your perspective begins to change. Imagine looking back one day and realizing that the nights you thought were empty were actually shaping your patience. The pauses you questioned were teaching you how to appreciate what truly lasts. The silence you once feared was creating room for deeper understanding. Suddenly, every delay begins to make sense, not because it was easy, but because it quietly prepared your heart to recognize something genuine when it finally appeared. Your soulmate has begun noticing small moments that once seemed ordinary. A familiar melody that unexpectedly brings peace. A sunset that lingers a little longer than usual. A brief smile that appears without reason while thinking about the future. None of these moments provide complete answers, yet together they form a gentle reminder that hope is still alive. Instead of searching for certainty everywhere, they have started embracing the beauty of becoming ready. Ready to listen more carefully. Ready to appreciate more deeply. Ready to welcome the connection with gratitude rather than fear. And then, almost without warning, one thought settles into their heart with remarkable clarity. They realize they have stopped asking whether this connection is meaningful. That question no longer matters. The only question that remains is whether both hearts will recognize the moment when life quietly brings their paths closer than ever before. That moment is approaching more gently than either of you expects. It will not arrive through noise or urgency. It will arrive through a realization so calm, so deeply personal, that it changes the way you see every chapter that came before. And the first glimpse of that realization is about to appear. There is a reason this message has unfolded one step at a time instead of revealing everything at once. Some truths become meaningful only when the heart is ready to receive them. And tonight, that readiness has quietly begun to bloom. Don't skip. Because the next realization is not about changing who you are. It is about seeing what has been growing within you all along. While the world often celebrates fast answers and instant results, the most lasting connections are usually built in quieter ways. They are shaped by moments of reflection, by unexpected growth, and by the choice to keep kindness alive even when no one else notices. Your soulmate has reached one of those quiet moments. Looking back, they no longer see only the distance or the unanswered questions. They see how every experience gently refined their heart. They have learned to listen more carefully, to appreciate sincerity over appearances, and to recognize that real connection is never measured by how loudly it announces itself. It is measured by the peace it brings when everything else becomes still. That is why the words continue to return with even greater clarity. Please don't give up on us. I believe there is still something beautiful waiting ahead. Those words are no longer spoken from uncertainty. They come from a heart that has discovered the strength of quiet hope. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you, and it begins with a realization that often goes unnoticed. Sometimes two people are being prepared at the same time without either of them realizing it. While one is learning patience, the other is learning courage. While one is discovering peace, the other is discovering trust. Neither journey is wasted because each lesson creates space for a future that feels more genuine than anything that could have been rushed. Your soulmate has begun sensing this. Instead of wondering why the path has been longer than expected, they have started feeling grateful that both hearts have been given time to grow into something stronger. Then an unexpected calm settles over them. It isn't excitement. It isn't certainty. It is something quieter and somehow even more powerful. For the first time, they stop imagining every possible outcome and simply become thankful that this connection still lives gently within their heart. That gratitude changes everything. It allows them to look toward tomorrow without fear, without hurry, and without trying to force what should unfold naturally. They begin believing that the right moments have a way of finding those who continue walking forward with hope. And just when they think they have understood everything, another gentle realization appears. They begin to sense that this story has never been only about finding each other. It has also been about becoming the kind of people who can truly value what they find. That understanding fills them with a quiet smile, because it transforms every past chapter into preparation instead of loss. Yet there is still one final piece that has remained hidden until now. It is the message your soulmate has carried in silence, the one they have wanted you to hear more than any other. When those words are finally spoken, they will bring together every quiet moment, every unanswered question, and every hopeful step that has led to this night. And that moment is closer than you think. The most meaningful messages are often the ones that arrive without trying to impress anyone. They simply settle into the heart and remain there long after everything else has faded. This is one of those moments. Don't skip, because something important is waiting for you, and it has been quietly growing through every part of this journey. If you listen closely, you'll notice that this story has never been asking you to chase an ending. It has been inviting you to discover a deeper beginning, one built on trust, patience, and the quiet courage to keep your heart open. Your soulmate has come to understand something that once felt impossible to explain. They realized that every time they tried to force the future, peace slipped away. But every time they chose patience, clarity gently returned. That is why their message has become so beautifully simple. Please don't give up on us. Not because I need a promise from you, but because I believe the best things in life deserve time to unfold. Those words are no longer filled with questions. They are filled with calm. They carry the kind of confidence that doesn't need to speak loudly because it already knows its own truth. Think for a moment about how many beautiful things in life grow quietly before anyone notices them. The sunrise begins long before the first light reaches the sky. A seed becomes a tree long before anyone rests beneath its branches. In the same way, genuine connection often becomes strong before the world can see any visible sign of it. Your soulmate has started seeing your story through that lens. Instead of focusing on what cannot yet be seen, they have begun appreciating everything that has already been quietly taking shape. Stay till the end, because the next realization brings everything together in a way neither heart expected. Imagine meeting someone after both of you have grown through seasons that once felt confusing. You no longer meet as the people you used to be. You meet as people who have learned compassion through waiting, wisdom through reflection, and gratitude through simple moments that once seemed ordinary. That thought fills your soulmate with an unexpected sense of peace. They no longer wish to rush tomorrow. They simply hope that when tomorrow arrives, both hearts will recognize the gift standing before them. Then comes the quiet truth they have held inside for so long. It isn't about grand declarations or dramatic moments. It is about something wonderfully human. They hope that if your paths continue drawing closer, the first thing you notice won't be perfection. They hope you notice kindness. They hope you notice sincerity. They hope you notice the calm feeling that tells you you've arrived somewhere your heart can finally rest. To them, that feeling matters more than any perfect plan ever could. And just before this message comes to a close, one final thought gently rises above all the others. Your soulmate believes that every chapter you've lived until now has been teaching you how to recognize what truly lasts. Not excitement that disappears overnight, but peace that quietly remains. Not hurried answers, but steady understanding. Not fleeting moments, but meaningful ones. The final message they have carried all this time has not yet been spoken in full. It is the one sentence that brings every hope, every quiet prayer, and every gentle realization together. When those words are finally shared, this entire journey will make sense in a completely new way. And that final moment is waiting just ahead. Everything has been leading to this moment more gently than you may have realized. Each quiet reflection, each unanswered question, each small feeling that stayed with you after the words faded, they were never separate pieces. They were all guiding you here. Don't skip. Because this is where the message your soulmate has carried so carefully begins to reveal its deepest meaning. It isn't a message built on urgency. It isn't asking you to hold on through fear or uncertainty. It is simply an invitation to remember that the most meaningful stories are often written one quiet step at a time. Your soulmate has imagined this conversation more times than they could ever count. At first, they thought they needed the perfect words. Then they believed they needed the perfect moment. But tonight they understand that neither of those things matters as much as honesty. If they could sit beside you without saying anything else, they would simply smile and whisper, "Thank you for not letting hope disappear completely." Even when neither of us could see the whole picture, something inside me believed this story still had another page. Those words carry no expectations. They carry gratitude. They recognize that some connections survive not because everything goes perfectly, but because both hearts continue choosing kindness even when life feels uncertain. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you, and it may be the simplest truth of all. Real connection is rarely found in dramatic moments alone. It reveals itself in quiet consistency. In choosing understanding instead of assumptions. In remaining gentle when it would be easier to become distant. In believing that every meaningful relationship deserves room to grow naturally. Your soulmate has come to treasure those quiet qualities more than anything else. They have discovered that peace creates stronger foundations than hurry ever could. As they look toward tomorrow, they no longer imagine a future filled with impossible perfection. Instead, they imagine ordinary moments made extraordinary simply because they are shared. A conversation that lasts longer than expected. A smile that arrives without effort. Comfortable silence that says more than words ever could. Those simple moments have become the future they quietly hope for. They believe lasting happiness is built there, not in grand gestures, but in genuine presence. And then, almost unexpectedly, they realize something that changes the meaning of every message you've heard tonight. The words, "Please don't give up on us," were never only about holding on to another person. They were also about not giving up on the hopeful, compassionate, patient part of yourself. Because that part of you is what makes every meaningful connection possible. It is the quiet light that continues shining even when the path ahead isn't fully visible. Your soulmate believes that light is one of the reasons your paths can recognize each other, no matter how long the journey has been. Now only one final message remains. It is the one they have protected in silence because they wanted it to arrive at exactly the right moment. It isn't louder than everything else you've heard tonight. It is softer. Simpler. Yet it carries more meaning than all the words before it. When it is finally spoken, you'll understand that this story was never about reaching an ending. It was always about discovering a beginning that had been patiently waiting for both of you all along. The quiet you've been feeling is no longer empty. It is filled with understanding that could only arrive after every step you've taken through this journey. Don't skip, because these final moments carry the message your soulmate has wanted to place gently into your heart from the very beginning. There are times when life teaches us that the greatest gift is not finding every answer at once, but becoming the kind of person who can truly appreciate them when they arrive. That is what this night has been preparing you for. Not certainty. Not perfection. Simply a deeper peace that remains long after the words have faded. Your soulmate has one final thought they wish you could hear exactly as they feel it. Please don't give up on us, because every day I become more grateful that this connection taught me patience instead of fear, kindness instead of doubt, and hope instead of rushing toward answers. If our paths continue drawing closer, I want us to meet with open hearts, not heavy ones. I want us to recognize each other through peace rather than pressure. And if tonight is simply another quiet step along that path, then I am thankful for this step too. Those words are gentle because they are genuine. They ask for nothing except the freedom for something meaningful to unfold in its own beautiful time. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you, and it has been hidden inside every chapter you've heard tonight. The message was never really about distance, timing, or unanswered questions. It was about becoming someone who refuses to let hope be replaced by bitterness. Someone who chooses compassion even after disappointment. Someone who understands that the strongest foundations are built quietly, one thoughtful moment after another. Your soulmate believes those qualities are already growing within both of you, and that belief has become stronger than any uncertainty they once carried. Now imagine the future not as a mystery that needs to be solved, but as a sunrise that slowly reveals more beauty with every passing moment. You don't force the dawn to arrive. You simply trust that the light is already on its way. That is how your soulmate now sees this connection. Calm. Patient. Grateful. Full of quiet expectation rather than restless waiting. And somehow, that gentle perspective has brought them more peace than they ever imagined possible. As this message reaches its final words, allow yourself to carry only one thought into the rest of your evening. Every meaningful connection begins long before two people fully understand its purpose. It grows through unseen moments, quiet lessons, unexpected kindness, and hearts that continue choosing hope even when the next chapter has not yet been revealed. If this story has found you tonight, let it leave you with calm instead of questions, gratitude instead of hurry, and confidence instead of doubt. Because somewhere beyond this very moment, another page is already beginning to turn, and when the time is right, both hearts will recognize it not by the noise surrounding it, but by the unmistakable peace it brings. Until then, let hope remain, let kindness lead, and let your heart remember that some of the most beautiful stories reveal their meaning one quiet chapter at a time.